everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I thought I would do a fun little video. I haven't done one of these in maybe 6 months or so. I did a couple last year, everybody was doing them and I thought I'd jump on. I don't recall who did it first, but I just copied everyone. I will link down in my description a few creators who did this, but basically I'm just going to pull 10 random palettes and I'm going to rank them and let's see which ones I like and which ones I don't in my collection. I feel like I have a really good understanding of most of my palettes in my collection, so hopefully this won't be too difficult. However, I do have a few newer palettes that A, I haven't even tried yet, and B, I might have only tried once or twice, so that might be a little bit more difficult if they're pulled. But yeah, I'm just going to get the tiny decisions and I'm just going to grab 10 palettes and then I will be back. But let me just do that in front of you. I don't know, I just thought it'd be fun to do this video. I haven't done it in a while and hopefully palettes that I haven't spoken about pop up and then we can talk about them and figure out if they are good or not. If a single is pulled in my tiny decisions, because I do have singles in here, then I will just roll again. So let's just go through this. LA Dreams Rollerblade, that's a single. Good start. Huda Beauty Mercury, okay, nice, all right. Let me do it again. Midnight Mini from Beauty Bay. That is one that I have not tried yet, so it might be a difficult one to judge, but let's look at it anyway. Colourpop Miss Bliss. Ooh, okay. Mercury Retrograde again. All right. Primark Neon Orange, okay. I did not depot that. I depotted the pink one, so that one is an actual palette. Alter Ego Canyon. Ooh, okay. I have to figure out how many I've done so far because I might have done too many. Juvia's Place Bronzic Rustic. That is a single, so I will roll again. Elf Very Bad. I don't think that's 10 yet. I'm gonna do a few more. Primark Rose Quartz. Okay, let me just see how many of those are because I lost count. Okay, so that's 8. I need to do 2 more times. Revolution Hydra Turtle. Okay. So far, only one of these I have not actually tried. Most of them I've used quite a bit. Beauty Bay Berries. Oh, that's a new one as well. Okay, well, there's two new ones. Let me go pull the palettes, we'll have a look at them, and I will tell you what my order is in terms of preference and my ranking and all of that jazz. All right, so along with my ranking, I will also say if I would repurchase these palettes because I'm not sure that I would repurchase all of them. 2 of them were gifts. So in that case, I'll just say if I would purchase them myself as a, you know, I didn't really have a choice, but I will still say if I would repurchase or actual purchase myself, you know what I mean. Okay, so let me just do this in order first. All right, I've done my order. I'm gonna start with the 2 that I've actually not tried. I'm not gonna rank these just simply because I don't know how I like them. However, I will say if I would repurchase them. So this one is, they're both from Beauty Bay and they are the 9-pan ones that they came out with. So this is the berries and I received this as a gift from my partner. I expressed interest in the big palettes, so this is the Midnight Mini and I expressed interest in the Midnight, which is a much bigger, like 42-pound palette, and I didn't have any interest in purchasing or getting the 9-pans just simply because I knew that the shades are duplicated and I wanted to try the 42-pan as opposed to these ones. When he bought these, I don't think he realized that this would be duplicate of the big Midnight palette, so I would not repurchase this or purchase it myself. However, having said that, it's nothing really to do with the color story or the formula because I have tried the big Midnight one and I love Beauty Bay formula and it's beautiful and cool tone, and I think honestly at the end of the day it's kind of cute to have this one a smaller version of it if you want to go traveling or, you know, share it with anybody, whatever. This is much more workable than the £42 palette, which is enormous. So for that reason, I would not repurchase it, but it's not because it's not beautiful. And I don't think I've specifically tried those shades in that palette, so I just can't rank it, but I imagine it would be pretty high up. And then this one is sort of ranked at the same as the Midnight Mini. The berries, obviously they didn't do a 42 pan of these shades. However, these shades are not my favorite eyeshadow shades to put on my lids, so I didn't really want this palette, and I had a lot of berries already in my collection, as opposed to a lot of cool tone sort of blues and purples and what, you know, all this deliciousness. I don't have a lot of eyeshadow like that, but I have a lot of eyeshadow like this, so I didn't see the need for me to buy this. However, I did receive it as a gift, and that's why I have it, but I would not go out and actually buy it myself. I haven't tried it. They all look beautiful, and I imagine they would perform beautifully because they are Beauty Bay, and I've only tried Beauty Bay formula from a couple palettes, but I think these ones are very good just from what everyone has said. So nothing to do with the formula at all. It's more just this is kind of redundant, and then this one it's just not my preference in terms of color story, but they're still very beautiful. All right, moving on to all the other ones that I randomly selected. So right at the bottom of the list, I will start with the neon orange. This is from Primark. I picked up 3 of these, a neon green, neon orange, and neon pink. I depotted the pink, and then I ended up not keeping any of the shades. And I thought about depotting this one and the green one. I've got more use out of the green one. The green one has some shades that are a little bit more unique. However, this does have this shade and this yellow, which are pretty unique in my collection. The problem is the formula is just not very good. These are extremely powdery mattes, and the shimmers aren't the best. I know it's Primark, it's kind of what you would expect, but I have some other Primark palettes. One in particular actually is in this list, and the formula is better. So, you know, I'm comparing it to Primark quality that I've already tried, and this is like the worst of the worst, I would say. But I think the color story is kind of fun, and I really went off of orange last year, but I'm back into my orange. I think maybe with my darker hair, I'm okay with it. I think when I had the blonde hair last year, I was just so thrown off with orange looks on my face. I did not like it. I felt like it clashed. So I went full cool tone. But now that I've got my brown hair back, I feel like I'm going to want to do a lot of colors like this in the spring, summertime. So that's kind of why I stayed around for so long, even though it's not a favorite of mine. But it is ranked the lowest. And would I repurchase it? Absolutely not, because I did not need it. Okay, moving on, we've got the Hydra Turtle from Revolution. So this one I thought was cute. I had tried a tin palette before, and I liked the quality over just the normal palettes that they had. So I thought, okay, let me try another tin palette. And when this came out, I thought it was really cute. I love the actual outside packaging, and it is pretty much cool tone inside, and kind of different to other palettes that I have. But you kind of need to be in the mood for these colors, and I'm not always in the mood for these colors. The quality is as you would expect. I don't think the mattes are actually that bad. The shimmers aren't very good, and there's no standout shimmer. I think this is the only one that I really like, this cloud one, but even so, it's really not impactful at all. It's just a pretty color, and if the formula was better, then it would be even better, but the formula is like meh. But yeah, it's an okay palette. Knowing what I know now about it, would I repurchase it? No, because I don't need it. I think at the end of the day, I've realized I don't need this palette. I did do a no pan left behind. I got through all of the shades, so I have tried every shade in here, and yeah, as I said, there's just no standout shade. It's not special enough. Really, it's just the packaging and it's cute, but I shouldn't have purchased it, so I wouldn't repurchase it. Okay, moving on, we've got a Juvia's Place. This is the Bronze Rustic. So this one I've always really enjoyed, and I got it as a duo set. This one along with the Blushed Rose, I think. And it just comes with 6 shades. It's really beautiful quality. I really like this one over the other one. The other one I've barely even touched. I'm actually trying to pan this one. I've been trying to pan this one for almost a year now, and I still have not hit pan on it. But I've used all the shades. This is a really beautiful shimmer, and it's just a very good color story for your everyday. If you want to do some neutrals or a pop of orange, it's obviously warm tone, but it's really beautiful and classic. I think you could do a lot of beautiful classic looks with this vibrant pop of sort of that blood orange red, which I think is really interesting. Now, would I repurchase this? I mean, I got it in a bundle, and it was the first time me trying Juvia's Place. I want to say I would not repurchase it, even if it was just on its own, not with the other palette, because I'm not really buying too much from Juvia's Place at the moment, or I'm trying not to. I know I bought a little quad back in September, which again was probably something I shouldn't have done, and I probably wouldn't repurchase that palette either. But I'm trying to be honest with myself, like, would I repurchase this today if I saw it tomorrow? No. Would I miss it in my collection? I think the only shade that is unique is this shade. So I would miss this shade, even though I'm so sick of it because I'm trying to pan it and I'm failing miserably. I feel like I have all the other shades in other palettes, a combination of them and multiple different shades or tones, but I think I have them all. This one is somewhat unique. It does have a lot of orange to it, and it has pink to it as well. It is very beautiful, but again, I don't think it's special enough for me to want to go out and buy the palette again. So yeah, if I didn't have this palette, would I go and repurchase it? No, I wouldn't. Okay, moving on, we've got the e.l.f. Bite Size Berry Bad. This is the only bite size palette that I ever picked up from the e.l.f. range. I was interested in a lot of their others, but I just didn't need them, and I'm glad I didn't buy them. I'm really happy with this one. I think you can do one, maybe two beautiful looks with it, and that's about it. But I have taken it traveling with me a couple times, and it is very helpful to have just this little quad. It's just so easy to use. You just need to, grab a couple of, brushes, and then you're good to go. And the shimmers perform still really nice, and the two mattes there blend really nicely, and it's just a really good cohesive palette. Nothing special to it, but I do like it, and I feel like this is the good e.l.f. quality. That sometimes e.l.f. it can be hit and miss, and I feel like this is a good, maybe not the best. Sometimes they do really beautiful shimmers, e.l.f., and sometimes they're really meh. These are good. I wouldn't say they're the best, but they're definitely not the worst. And the mattes are not patchy like other mattes. So yeah, I guess, I don't know. I mean, I have a feeling that I'm going to say no, I would not repurchase this, even though I've enjoyed it. I don't really feel the need to have it in my collection because I do have these shades in other palettes. However, it's really convenient to have it as a quad. But I think the honest truth is I probably would not repurchase it, even though I've enjoyed it and I do like it, and I'm not going to declutter it. It's a strange thing. Maybe I'm just in the headspace where I'm just trying not to buy anything, and so I'm like, nope, I don't need it, nope, nope. And that's what I've been telling myself. And at the moment, I'm really just waiting for a palette to wow me and be just out of this world. And I've set my expectations really, really high, so that with all the new releases coming out, and there's been a couple where I've been like, oh, I'm gonna do it, and I didn't do it. I don't know, I think I'm trying to be really strict with myself in terms of, do I need it? Because I have too many shades now in my collection. So yeah, would I repurchase this? No, because I have these shades. Okay, moving on, we have the Primark Rose Quartz. I am ranking this higher. This is a Primark palette, but like I said, this quality is so much nicer than the other Primark palette. I wouldn't say it's better quality than, Huda Beauty or anything like that. Absolutely not. It's still, a cheaper quality type of shade and like powder and shimmer. But I don't know what it is about this palette. I have an affinity with it. I really have always enjoyed it, and it's one of my oldest palettes, and I've just done some really beautiful looks with it, and it's not a special palette at all. And I think I would repurchase this because I do like the color story. I like that you have the berries, you have the lighter tones, which I generally prefer lighter tones, but you have some darks here that you can deepen out the looks. You've got a mauvey purple over here too, but it's like a dusty one. And the shimmers, although they look kind of crappy, sometimes they can look really nice. So, you know, again, it's Primark. It's not the best quality, but I actually have really enjoyed this palette, and I'm ranking it pretty high up. I mean, what? This is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 5th out of 8, because obviously I didn't rank the other 2. So yeah, it's pretty high up in my ranking, and I think it's just because it exceeds my expectation of what Primark quality should be. And you know, it's better than some other palettes that I have that are probably more expensive. And it's also part of my enjoyment. I've enjoyed it more than some other palettes. Okay, moving on. We have the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde. I was lusting over this palette for so long, and I finally got it when it was on sale. It wasn't on sale ever. I never saw it on sale, and then finally I saw it on sale, and I said, I have to take the plunge. I have to buy it. If I don't buy it now, I will never own it. So yeah, I bought this, and it still looks pretty unused. I mean, I do love this shade. This one is what, Gold Glitch. This is definitely my favorite shade in the palette. I'm working on this shade right now on a project, but other than that, I mean, I really haven't done too much with this. I have done the No Pan Left Behind, and that's pretty much it. I think it is stunning, and I really do enjoy Huda Beauty formula. I've never tried their smaller palettes, but I've only tried the bigger ones, and I really enjoy the formula. And I do think I have a good selection now of Huda Beauty that, you know, I didn't buy the latest one from last last autumn time, because it was very warm tone, and I just didn't need all those, you know, those orange shades. I didn't need all those warm tone shades. And I know a lot of her palettes are very rosy and pink, and I would agree. So that's why I'm feeling like I don't really need to pick up any more, unless she comes out with maybe a grungy one that doesn't have all those roses and stuff like that. But yeah, I like this palette, and I'm ranking it high because I did have a really nice experience using it. I want to be able to use it more, to be honest. It's one of the palettes where I just wish I had it in a project and I was using it a lot more. But yeah, I think I definitely would repurchase, but only if it was on sale again. I would not buy it full price because they're so expensive. Okay, next up I've got Miss Bliss. So this is number 2 in my rankings. This is the first ColourPop palette that I ever purchased, and honestly I think it's my favorite ColourPop palette that I own. I just love how light it is, and it's just kind of fun and cutesy and girly, and the shades are beautiful. Like this Chakra To Me. Yeah, Chakra To Me is beautiful. I really like this matte as well. I had it in the project, but I did have a pretty nice dip in it when it wasn't in a project. And then this Palo Alto is really nice as well. I'm not a huge fan of these two, particularly this pink, but I understand why it's in the palette, and I do enjoy it. It's not a big deal. It is what it is. But I just think it's a really cutesy palette, and the formula is really beautiful, and I have some sort of nostalgia towards it because it was my first ColourPop palette that I owned. And then just talking about if I would repurchase or not, I definitely would. I don't know if they still have this. I know it's one of their one of the oldest 9 pans. I don't know if they still have this, to be honest, in their website. They discontinue a lot of items. It'd be a shame if they don't, but it is very old, so they probably do, and they probably reformulated it in some other palette. But I would repurchase it if I could. I think it's a decent palette. I've got a lot of love out of it, and I would want to have it in my collection, knowing what it is and how much I've enjoyed it, and also just how special some of these shades are. Like, this is just beautiful, this shade. I don't know if it's going to come off on camera, but obviously it's pink, but it has like a flip of, what is that flip? I don't know what that flip is, but it is really beautiful. It's stunning. I really like it. So yeah, I would absolutely repurchase this. Okay, so the last one that I've ranked as number 1, and I think it's just because I'm a little bit biased with this company at this moment in time, because nothing that they've done or that I've tried from them has disappointed me. So I'm actually going to rank the Canyon from Alter Ego as number 1, because I think the quality is so good. And you know, when I think about these palettes, I also think of the pricing as well, and just how it was pleasant to purchase. It wasn't an issue. Like, I did purchase this from the US and I had it shipped over to Portugal, and it wasn't a big issue at all. And I got it because obviously they were dupes of the Natasha Denona palettes. And I haven't tried some of those. I mean, I've only got one Natasha Denona palette, so I haven't tried the bronze palette from her. Oh no, what is this one? I think it's the bronze one. I haven't tried the one that this is duped for, so I can't compare, but I kind of just love the color story, and the quality is really nice, so I don't mind, and I don't really need to compare. I particularly love this shade right here, Desert Moon. I think it is the most beautiful shade. It's one of those shades where you've got obviously the undertone of the sort of reddish brown, and then you've got that flip of like purpley gray on top of it. It is really interesting, and I don't have any other shade in my collection like it, and it looks stunning on the lids. Like, I had so much pleasure with this. Even when I was off of my warm tone looks last year, I still had to rank this high whenever I did my rankings, because I could not tell myself that this wasn't a good palette and the formula wasn't good and I wasn't enjoying it, because I literally was enjoying. I have 3 Alter Ego palettes right now and I enjoy all 3 of them. I think the 2 that I enjoy the most is probably the smaller ones, like these ones, because I got the one that is a dupe of the Metropolis from Natasha Denona, and I think that's okay. But I do think the Canyon and the Shadow Kiss are the best ones in particular. But yeah, I just think the formula is so good. So if you haven't tried Alter Ego, it's just an affordable brand. And yeah, I mean, it is a dupe brand, so if you're kind of against that, then I can understand. But I don't really want to spend the money that Natasha Denona asks us to spend for her palettes. If I can get something that I enjoy the quality of and the color story is there, then I'm going to do that. It's just, it is what it is. So yeah, this is my ranking, and absolutely I would repurchase this 100%. Easiest repurchase decision of the whole list, absolutely. So yeah, that was my ranking of the like 10 random palettes. I do want to try these. I have made it a point. I rearranged all of my eyeshadow palettes actually. I did that a couple of weeks ago, and I've put together all of the palettes that I need to work on this year. In particular, maybe the first like 6 months or so of this year, just so I can get a notepad left behind on the palettes I haven't used, new palettes like this, and I can get a better feeling. I also have like chopping block palettes in there as well, because I have given a lot of love to other palettes, and now it's time to give that love to some other things. And if I don't like them, then I have a better understanding of what I should declutter if I do a declutter for my eyeshadow, because I have not decluttered eyeshadow in a really long time. I didn't declutter any eyeshadow palettes last year. I purposely didn't, because I just did, you know, I spend money on these eyeshadow palettes and I just don't want to do it sometimes. But I think I'm definitely curating a list now of what I could potentially declutter. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was enjoyable. I just thought I would do it again. It's been a while since I've done one of these, and yeah, I just thought I've been doing so many project updates that it might be a bit boring for everyone. So I'm also going to try to film some makeup collection videos as well. I did recently write on my community tab, you know, what kind of videos you would all like to see, and that one ranked pretty high, along with I'm gonna do a duping the vibes video as well for you. And I might actually, pretty much, I'm going to bring back the 3 looks 1 palette series. I know I was doing that last year. I was doing 1 week 1 palette, but I'm just obviously just going to kind of flip it a little bit and just do 3 looks 1 palette, and I will try to post that once a month. We'll see how it goes. But that series is going to come back on my channel, just because it also gives me an idea of are these palettes versatile enough for me? Can I do 3 different looks with one palette? Is it possible? Some of my palettes are very monochromatic, so it might not even be possible. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. If you have any ideas of which palettes you want me to do a 3-look 1 palette, let me know, because I would love to know what everyone wants to see. Otherwise, I'm just gonna do what I think and hope for the best. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe if you'd like to, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.